busy. I don't ever smoke the dizzy, but we can always share some disease. It's just a cup in time. This song doesn't have to rhyme. Life's all of us, not every moment we can be feeling fine. I wanna share a moment, just a second if you will, maybe even a cup of thrill. We could share this performance. It's tea time, come sit with me.
Well, welcome guys, Miss Liz in the house, and tonight I have a returning guest, the third time he's here, right? 3 times is a charm. That's right, we're going to be talking about Soul Sisters movement. We're going to talk about acceptance, including, we're going to do a bunch of stuff, but we're going to serve a double tea tonight. That's why we're doing double tea, because Newton gave me a tea a couple months ago when we booked this tea time, and now he's giving me a different tea, so we're going to do double tea tonight. So tonight's tea is try, educate, awareness, and then try, there's 2 tries, so there's a double try. Evolve and elevate. That is the tea we are serving tonight. But before we get started with all those teas and all that good talk, we're going to get you guys over to those platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Lemonade, all those good ones, and then all the podcast apps out there: Spotify, Podbean, Listen Note, iHeartRadio, all the other ones that I don't mention. Miss Liz is on those ones too, so check those ones out. Miss Liz just doesn't know all of the names off by heart. And check out babyboomers.org, because Miss Liz is partnered with them, and you can find some incredible other podcasts out there. If you're looking to be on different shows and different podcasts, check that out, babyboomers.org. And we also had Baby Boomers on Tea Time, I believe in season 3 or 4. So check that out, where Baby Boomers and all the good work that they're doing with a bunch of incredible people. But let's get started with disclaimer and then an intro, and then we're going to get Newton in here and we're going to spill double tea tonight. Disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Time live show. Miss Liz's Tea Time is a global platform dedicating to sharing real life stories, diverse perspectives, and meaningful conversations that inspire awareness, healing, and connection. I, Miss Liz, is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment during the live broadcast, please grant StreamYard permission to display your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that all the content brought forward during any Tea Time show is presented in good faith. However, discussions may include opinions, beliefs, and perspectives that do not necessarily represent the views of Miss Liz or the Tea Time platform. Information shared by guests is based on their own experiences and is perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All guests, viewers, and participants are responsible for using their own good judgment when considering any action or decision that may relate to these discussions. Some episodes may cover sensitive topics, including but not limited to trauma, abuse, grief, mental health, and other emotionally triggering subjects. Listeners' and viewers' discretion is strongly advised. Tea Time with Miss Liz is an open discussion forum designed to offer insight, inspire awareness, and create connection. It is not a substitute for professional, medical, legal, or therapeutical advice. If you require professional support, please seek assistance from qualified professionals or trusted resources in your area. If you have any questions regarding this disclaimer or the content of the discussion, you are welcome to contact me, aka Miss Liz, directly at my email at bookingmissliz@gmail.com, or visit my link tree at Miss Liz's Tea Time. By choosing to participate in, comment on, or view these live shows, you acknowledge and accept this disclaimer. Your participation is entirely voluntary. I, Miss Liz, welcomes you to join the conversation with an open heart, and if at any time you feel this platform is not right for you, I respect your wishes and decision and welcome you back whenever you are ready. Tea Time with Miss Liz is serving truth and awareness 1 cup at a time. Well, welcome back to Tea Time with Miss Liz, where conversations create connections, stories create awareness, and every voice matters. Tonight, we welcome back a very special returning guest for the 3rd time, someone whose work continues to inspire conversation around inclusion, acceptance, diversity, and self-worth through storytelling and heart-centered leadership. Please join me in welcoming back Newton Vanriel, best-selling author, speaker, fundraiser, advocate, and creator of the powerful Soul Sisters movement. Through his books, community work, school presentations, and youth outreach, Newton has created spaces where children's, youth, and families feel seen, heard, and accepted for exactly who they are. His work reminds us that stories are not just entertainment, they are bridges towards empathy, towards confidence, towards understanding one another in a world that often forgets how important kindness truly is. Tonight's tea time will explore inclusion and acceptance, reciprocation, I can't say that word tonight, and self-esteem, creating safe spaces for youth, the power of storytelling in healing and connection, and building stronger communities through compassion and awareness. Newton's message through Soul Sisters movement continues to show us that our differences are not weaknesses. They are part of what makes humanity beautiful. So whether you are joining us live or catching a replay, pull up a chair and join us for another meaningful conversation filled with heart, awareness, and real life tea, truth, experience, and awareness. And let me get Newton in here and let's spill some tea. Welcome, Newton.
Liz.
I could not say that word and I wasn't going to struggle
Every
with
day
that
I'm blowing
word.
bubbles. Ms. Liz, how are you? Third time the charm.
I am good. You know, sometimes I just can't say some words. They just won't come out of my tongue. And I refuse.
I've had that situation. I was doing a presentation a couple of weeks ago, and there was a word that kept on tripping over, and maybe it's that Jamaican in my head, like the ask and the axe. that word sometimes. And I've been living in Canada since 1970, so it's not like I'm that new to Canada.
Well, Newton, for my first time listeners, tell them a little bit on who you were as a little guy and who you are now.
Me? Well, I think people may have thought I was a bit weird because I used to collect bugs. I used to collect insects when I was younger, right? And they thought I was going to be a biologist, but I didn't have the biologist mind, but I'd collect bugs and watch them for hours. And maybe in my own head, I thought maybe it was different or weird. And really that led to, well, of course, I've had a full life and a great family support, but I've always felt like a bit of a bit of an outsider, and thus the Soul Sisters. I'm a bit of a late bloomer. We were discussing that before about the fact that, yeah, I used to write poetry, spoken word, but not that much until around the pandemic time, where I had the opportunity to develop, with the help of the illustrator Monique Robrant. She's been with me every step of the way for the first book, the second book, and the third book. And it's really talking about two amazing girls who are adopted into a Black family, one white, one Black, and you think that they're twins. And the world says, how can you be twins? You guys are entirely different. It can't be that way. But they view each other as family, and they think that they're twins, and they have their own backwards language. They dress the same. So it's a bit of a reflection going back to when I was younger, but maybe sometimes feeling I didn't fit in. Was I Jamaican enough? Why am I catching bugs? And I think that led to me saying, as a legacy piece, I want to leave something that highlights the importance of being who you are, authentic, and being happy about it. Because the Soul Sisters, regardless of maybe some of the situations that they face, they're happy. They're happy, they're confident. And so my journey has been an amazing journey, Miss Liz. It's a journey of going to like 18 indigos and going to a variety of activities, doing workshops, doing library events. I did the Living Library, which was really cool. It was a video that talked about my inspiration of the Soul Sisters. And then I got to sit down on a table for the entire day, people asking me questions about the Soul Sisters. So it's been such a wonderful journey. And for me, it's brought a level of peace into my life. Now, I am a fundraiser. I've been doing fundraising for 30 years as a career. And now I'm part of a consortium consultant group where I'm leading them to change how charities do their work. So my one legacy is to change how nonprofits do their work. And then the second legacy is to bring about the importance of dialogue in this world. The Soul Sisters is about bringing opportunities for people to talk about it's okay to be weird, because I have a part in the first book called The Weird Family. And what I'm really highlighting is it's not weird to be different. It's not weird to have different thoughts. And people should be open to the fact that it's okay to be that way. So yeah, it's the Soul Sisters has taken a bit of a life of its own. Both books have won 3 awards each, and overall, even in my local area, the Pickering Durham region, I did a activity with the Durham Black Educators Network. It was so fun. It was a whole bunch, like 30 kids, and I kept their attention for an hour. Let me tell you how challenging it is to keep the attention of children for more than 5 minutes. You know this, Ms. Yeah, you're
Yes,
a grandma.
absolutely.
You know this. Yes, you know this. So I was actually proud of myself, and I've done that a few times where, I'll blow bubbles, I'll have giveaways, I'll keep it active, I'll keep it fresh. And that has actually made my life much more fulfilled because I get to speak to people from all walks of life, the young, the old. The young understand the book because it's funny. The old understand the book because they can see themselves in it. So it's not, the first 2 books is for sophisticated. It's a slight sophisticated children's book. But what I'm doing for the 3rd one, which is cool, I'm going back to, Dora the Explorer, the big eyes.
Yes.
I'm going into the focus of Soul Sisters Wannabe. And that is a book about you can be anything you want to be. It's for the young kids. So when I play Santa Claus a couple of times every year, so when I'm going, ho, 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 I can sit down and read the book easily. It's an easier book to read than, let's say, the Soul Sisters, which it has poetry and it has kind of a dynamic, slightly more children, but then with an adult focus and theme. The Adventures of the Soul Sisters Wannabe is just a fun book about being what you want to be, job opportunities, be anything, believe in yourself. So yeah, Ms. Liz is always, I always feel like I have to speak some kind of Southern. Ms. Liz, can I have mint julep kind
We
of
have
thing?
some tea cookies here.
Can I have some mint julep tea? Because I'm going to spill the tea.
And I just noticed that you have 2 tries because you gave me 4 months ago when we booked this, and maybe even longer than 4 months ago.
Yeah,
but when you gave it to me, it was try, educate, and awareness. That was the tea you gave me. And tonight when you came, you were like, Miss Liz, I have a different tea. And it was, again, try, evolve, and
always
elevate.
causing trouble, Ms.
Always causing trouble for me.
Always causing trouble. That's my wife.
But I noticed you have 2 tries. So what's the try about? Because you got try before and try now.
Well, the reason why I like try is that in life, everything you do, you have to give it a shot. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to be successful, right? But you try. Trying means going out and making the effort to do something that maybe that fear, you have that feeling in your gut, and we all have that. I still have that when I'm doing presentations where I'm like, okay, let's do this, and then you start, and then you have fun, and then you say, why was I so afraid? So it's like the more you try things, the more confident you get in being who you are. So the reason it's like try again type of thing. It's the power of trying to make effort in the things that you love, and even the things that you're not good at. I'm learning to play pickleball with my wife, and
because you're old enough to play it. I'm not old enough yet.
Oh well, of course, you're being 21. What can I say?
I wish I was 21.
but I get seniors discounts for Shoppers Drug Mart. At 61, it's the seniors groups that I play pickleball, and I'm learning, I'm trying, and I'm getting pretty good at pickleball because the way I am is in a lot of things, I'll think about the mistakes I made, and I won't ponder them, but I'll think about them and try to improve upon that. I think there's a danger in when you think too much about the mistakes you made. It creates a negative kind of environment where you're like, always worried about things that you can do. I think I married somebody that worries more than me. I tend to be a kind of a person that goes, yeah, yep, let's do it, let's do this. But after 33 years of marriage, you marry somebody who is truly a balance for you, like a balance. And she's really the person that's let me do this, the Soul Sisters. She's given me the calm in all facets of my life to do what I love doing. And I thank her. I thank my family. I thank my friends. I thank the people in my life, including my 93-year-old mother, who we all help and take care of. I thank her for laying out the foundation of what a Vanriel is and what a Vanriel believes, because I'm proud to be a Vanriel. I'm proud to be the youngest of 4 siblings who are just amazing people. And so as I move on in my life, I realize it's about legacy.
Yeah.
So try is about trying things, seeing how it works out. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. Try again.
Right, get back up and try. I'm gonna pull up the book so people know what we're talking about. Where I'm gonna pull up the first one that you sent me years ago, because it's your third time here. So I think it was like 4 years ago when I first met you.
It's been written. It's 5 years old now. The Adventures of the Soul Sisters. This is where you meet Charmin, Dawn, Spirit, and actually you meet initially the parents who are trying to have a baby and they can't because just of health issues. And that led them to adoption. And that led them actually to moving from Toronto, you see the backdrop, to Espanola. And the reason why I actually added Espanola is because in my third year at university, I went up to Espanola and stayed in a trailer for 4 months to assist the city and do an emergency plan and do a couple of things. I learned a lot about myself away from Toronto. And so what I wanted to do was to take the family outside of the city and maybe in areas where rural people go, wow, who are these people? And why are these girls dressing up so strangely? But eventually, throughout the books, as we get to the second book, they get that bond. But really, it's them learning who they are as sisters and building that relationship that leads to them at the end of this book starting school. And that's the Adventures. That's probably it's sold very well. Won 3 awards, including the Pickering Diversity Award. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it, but I'm probably most critical of it because with your first book, I don't know what I'm doing. Really, I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing. And I have to thank Monique, the illustrator, for not only doing illustration, but kind of bringing me off the ledge a couple of times because I wrote it right after George Floyd.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember. So
I wrote it right after. So the theme of it was like, oh, okay, we're going to talk about diversity, but we're going to talk about, what's happening to this world. And after conversations with Monique, and even with my wife too, they kind of said, well, this is about love. It's about love. So I made it about, I guess, fierce love, a love that stands up for people, a love that stands up for each other, that's positive and also confident. So it became a more a book focused more on the enlightenment of people, the love of people, and working together. So yeah, that's where it became, and that led to the second book, which was The Adventures of the Soul Sisters Going to School.
Is that this one with the?
Yeah.
Is that number 2?
That's number 2.
There we go. See, I got this.
And number 2 came out about 2 years ago, and it's done well too, and it's also won 3 awards, and it also won a Book Fest award, a festival award that took me to it's an international award in which I spoke at online, and done presentations to middle management, and I did a play on the Soul Sisters. And also I've been speaking with the idea of maybe taking it to the screen, becoming the Soul Sisters cartoon or movie, because the message is more important than the book. The message is about, creating environments where people will talk to each other. I don't think people talk as much to each other because there's so much isms that cause them not to talk, right? So the movement is more powerful than the book. And so the movement is really about people communicating and connecting with each other. And so when you look at the book, you see different faces. You see Big Jim, and you see Raj and Ken. Now, the good thing is that they met them along the way in the second book, and Raj on the one with the Superman outfit on the left is a science guy. He's very good with science. Now, Sharm is also good in science. Don is good in math. Good in art, and his name Ken, who has a guitar, is an art guy. So they became close friends because of the interest. Even though they're twins, these two girls had separate interests, in which I also introduced another character, the vice principal, the principal of the school, who separated them to enhance their skill level. One is good in science, one's good in math, one's good in art. And her name is Miss Osa. In Spanish, it means bear. And so they thought she was scary. They thought, oh, it's a bear, but overall, they got to know each other. And then the last one that I introduced was Big Jim. Big Jim found their lost rooster. Percy went, flying away. With roosters don't fly that much, but they lost. They can.
Anything is possible.
They got quick feet. And so in the book, Big Jim finds the rooster and becomes part of the team. So what I'm really saying is, from the first book where you have the Soul Sisters, you have them in their mini community, to the extended community, the community of growth, of brotherhood and sisterhood, of people developing things together. And I take this from my mindset with charity work, where with charities, the goal is to build communities. And the only way you build it is with collaboration. A lot of charities sometimes work separately and they try to raise money, it doesn't work. But if they work in collaboration, it works, and it creates better opportunities from a philanthropic standpoint. So one of the major things I'm doing is consulting and actually talking to charities about how you can do your work better. And that's incredibly satisfying. And then I get to talk about the Soul Sisters, which is about building communities. So the advocate in me is in both areas, is in the book, and is in the what I do as a consultant. So that the try is try again. I think I haven't done the other ones yet.
No, we're going to get into them. We're going to do them bit by bit. We got some questions that came in here, and I want to get them out to you, Newton.
Sure.
So the first one that came in is from Matthew. How did Newton's journey from Jamaica to Canada shape his storytelling?
Wow. I think what I learned, when you're an immigrant and you come to a country, sometimes you feel like you're an outsider. And sometimes you don't fit in because there's that mainstream focus of what the mainstream community wants. And the theme of the Soul Sisters are two happy outsiders. So as an immigrant, you adjust, but you should never lose yourself and lose your culture. I'm a proud Jamaican heritage that I carry with me every day. And I'm also a proud Canadian. So that I carry with me every day. And you can carry them both and still balance it out. So yeah, I think it taught me how to move into different circles and not lose your soul while you're moving it. Go into the corporate world, put on a suit and not lose your soul. put on my running shoes and go for a run or play a sport and not lose your soul. And because I had a strong family foundation with my parents and my siblings, that left a good foundation for me to actually become confident and try. And I'm always going back to the try because it's about having the confidence. And there are times in my life where I didn't have the confidence to think that I could do anything beyond maybe what I was trained to do. And I think over time you grow and you realize, you know what? At this stage, I'm a bit fearless. I don't worry about, I don't know, making mistakes. I just try and see what happens. So as an immigrant, yeah, sometimes you feel like you're an outsider, and the Soul Sisters, many times in both books, feel like they're outsiders, but they have a foundation of love, and that keeps them happy.
Well, it goes into the next
Matthew?
question that came. The next question that came in from Bob is, what message does Newton hope children learn from these books?
The message. Well, the message that I'm picking up from from the kids, it's that it's okay to be unique. It's okay to be different. It's okay to maybe not sound a certain way or look a certain way. It creates a diversity in this world. So I've had conversations with a lot of kids, and there was this one kid I remember. I ran into him at Indigo Ajax, and he kind of followed. He brought his parents to a Pickering event, and said, "Hey, that's the guy I saw at Indigo," and he said, "Yeah, I'm going to write books just like you." And the parents, I could tell the parents were amazing parents, so they nurtured this young man. And so there are people that have touched. I don't think it's about touching everybody or making sure that everybody is reached, but some of the people who have reached, it's been such a it's almost a spiritual journey. I mean, where you see what the results are. You can't change the world entirely, but you could change 1% of it. You could change at least 1% of it. And that's what matters in this world. You can't change everything, but maybe there's a kid that didn't think that they can do it, and now they believe in themselves. And so, yeah, that's what I wanted to leave, and that's my legacy. Yeah.
Well, the next question is coming in from Mario, and it's, how important is I can't see that word, in children's literature today?
Oh, incredible.
Newton, say that word for me because I can't say
representation.
There we go. Wait, I need some help sometimes.
Incredibly important, because when I was younger, I'll tell you a story. When I was in grade 10 in high school, I actually we had history class, and the history was a British North America Act and all that mainstream history, which is fine. I boycotted the history program at age 16. That's the kind of rebel I was. and we were speaking to the admin about putting in Black history, putting Indigenous history. So it didn't happen overnight. It happened by the time I got to grade 13, where they included Black history based on Black History Month and things like that. But yeah, it took it. We need diversity not only of culture, but diversity of thought, and to let people explain and let people be who they are. And even with sometimes with me, I'll say, "Oh, this person's this way. Why are they this way?" I have to have more grace too. I'm still learning. I have to have more grace with people and the differences that make them all unique. And you may not like it, but you have to give them their grace and give them their space to actually be who they are. So yeah, that diversity of books, there were less diverse books, and now there are more diverse books. And I've worked with publishers, and Friesen is a publisher that is really moving the charge to diversifying books. But I've worked with organized book people who are just highlighting diverse books highlighting diversity, because diversity opens your mind to how the world is. It's like I say in one of the books, it's like traveling to different places around the world without traveling. You don't have to travel the world. You just have to read books. And it's funny. I'm not the biggest reader now. I love Audible. I love Audible. I love Audible because when I'm working, yeah, I know. Like I got books over here, but I love Audible, so I've gone through tons of books, like self-help books. I like autobiographies. I like stories of the journey of life in which you come from the darkness and you end up in an area of light. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the next question I have for you, Newton, is what was the biggest challenge in building the Soul Sisters movement?
The biggest challenge, I think in the beginning, my own confidence. My own confidence. I did write down what I wanted from the book. I wanted it to be successful. I wanted it to be a vehicle to speak about. But in the beginning, you're like, will it work? So my own confidence as not being an author, people don't view me when I started as an author. They view me, Newton, as the corporate fundraiser, Newton, this, the dad, the soccer coach, all these labels that I had. And what I've learned about labels is that the only labels you have are the ones you put on yourself. And sometimes it's good to step away and not label yourself and excel at doing something. So I decided in the early stages, I was determined. I'm an early riser. I get up at 5:30 every morning. And when I started writing the book, I got up 5:30 every morning to not only write the book, but also to promote the book. I contacted libraries. I contacted schools. I went through a process every day. And that's how Indigo began. Because Indigo began with Ajax Indigo saying, "Who are you?" Like everybody said, "Who are you?" And I said, "Well, I wrote a book called The Soul Sisters." And they go, "What?" So like, who are you? So number one, I had to show them that when I went to the Ajax Indigo, the first one, that I could talk about the Soul Sisters. I can bring people, and because there's that salesman mentality, I can have people come and talk and sell books, because that's what bookstores want. And that led to me I've done Ajax Indigo 9 times.
Wow.
Then I've done Cambridge, Oshawa, I've done Yorkdale, I've done Cambridge. Cambridge is interesting because Cambridge Indigo led to Cambridge Public School. I did Cambridge, and then all the book stuff has also led to consulting gigs. Where I speak to somebody and say, "Oh, you're a fundraiser. Oh, we need help for our organization." So the Soul Sisters, in essence, has, in the beginning, it was my own confidence that I thought I couldn't go that far with it. That kind of limited me. And then when I became more comfortable with what I was doing, I became more confident. And then it became like it's just fun. It's just fun.
Absolutely. And we have a couple more questions that just popped in. I want to get them out to you, Newton. And the next one that's coming in is from the podcast show is, how does Newton balance advocacy and storytelling together?
Oh, wow. It's funny. My wife was just saying this because I came out of a meeting with a consultant before I came on here. And then I came out from another meeting with another consultant just before I came to this meeting. I balanced my life with a certain determination and joy, and also putting it on paper. I'm a very structured person when it comes to organizing my time. In other words, my weekends are Soul Sisters weekends. My weekdays are usually work, but the mornings of every day is Soul Sisters. So I get up from 5:30. I go from 5:30 to 8 doing Soul Sister stuff. and then the rest of it is work time. So I love the weekends, because the weekends, every other week I've been doing book work, book fairs. I've done, wow, I did the Arab book fair recently. That was amazing. I was one of the only English speaking books there. Great opportunity. And that came from just me sending an email to somebody and saying, hey, I want to collaborate. I've done that so many times. Just say, hey, can we collaborate? And you'd be surprised by how many people want to collaborate if they get to know you. And so I've built a relationship with people that's led to this. Yeah.
And Newton, the next question I have for you is from Banter Show, is what advice would Newton give young aspiring authors?
Wow. Yeah, I've spoken to a few, and some of them are actually writing books, so it's really cool. Try, give it a shot. Start writing, because with me, I just sat down. I remember writing in the hammock in the backyard, and just sitting there and writing, and just saying, what am I trying to write? Is it Soul Brothers? Is it Soul Sisters? Try and have, I guess, determination and perseverance. I went through about 8 or 9 manuscripts to really get to the soul of the book. But I wanted to maintain the soul. I fought to maintain the soul of the book while going through the changes of manuscripts. Perseverance, understanding that you may not always get what you want, but if you try, sometimes you get what you need. No joking.
This is one of my little rebels.
Always get what. Yeah, it just popped to my head. But the thing is, you cannot get what you want. I think you have to have a bit of, you have to have a bit of determination, and you have to have a bit of understanding that, it may not work out, but try and ask. I asked so many other authors. I got so much input from other authors. I got input on how to promote the book, to a point where I feel I can actually provide leadership on how to promote a book. And so
you've really grown in the 3 shows that we've done. Like, if anybody wants to see Newton's other 2 tea times, like, I see the growth in you from the first tea time too. Yeah,
me too. There was a bit of a apprehension in the first one where I was like, I'm not sure this is, Now I am 100% sure that this was the reason why I was placed here on earth to do this. I wasn't that sure, and it's a process. So I would say to kids, keep on trying, and you get to a point where it's like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan took a 10,000 hours to practice to become a basketball star. It takes many hours to become good at something. So take those hours and be patient. And eventually, like I said, I'm working on a bit of a framework to actually teach people how to promote books, because I've learned how to do it successfully, and it shows. So try.
try. We're going to get into the rest of his tea after we
blow bubbles.
He's going to blow bubbles. He's going to be a little rebel tonight. He's going to get you guys all riled up, and he's going to do a little bit of reading. We want to get that reading in there as well.
Yes, I will. Today I'm going to read Soul Sisters Wannabe. And here we go. Ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? You ready, Ms. T?
I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this.
Okay. It was a funny, sunny Soul Sisters day, thinking about what they want to be today. So many things to try and begin. Just thinking about it made their heads spin. Sham says, I want to write a book. Dawn loves food. She wants to cook. The twins want to be many twins. People sometimes look and stare as the Soul Sisters dance without a care. What do you want to be? Asked Charm. We can always dream. There is no harm. Our parents just want them to be happy, smart, fun, free. Even as babies, it was cool to think about the sisters going to school. Dawn likes numbers and adding sheep. Charm thinks about art and stories in her sleep. The Soul Sisters are looking right at you. Don't be scared to do what you do. What you like is never weird or wrong. It's up to you to sing your song. I want to sing my song. I like that part. Both the twins like Lego building blocks, and they have a collection of amazing, funny socks. Dawn likes to dream that she's on the moon. Charm wants to sing a funny tune. They know that they will always be wannabe twins, just wannabe. Some say we don't look like twins. Her hair is different, so is her skin. But we know we are twins with the same heart, family, from the very start. So when we grow up, we'll get to learn and see families forever. Soul Sisters wanna be. And it ends with a wee. I don't know. I like the wee part. It's like wee. And I go like wee. I've done test runs on this and with little kids, and it goes down well because it's simple, it's short, and it's visual. It's the poetry and the other ones are broad and maybe layered. This one is just fun, happy, be who you want to be, learn different things, love each other, and then that's it. So Soul Sisters want to be what like want to be. I got that from the Spice Girls.
I knew you were going to bring music in.
Want to be. Remember that song? The one. So Spice Girls want to be. Okay, forget it. But yeah,
I knew you were going to bring music in because you did that the last two tea times too. You brought music in.
Here's something else. I mean, I love music. I mean, myself and my wife, we go and even with a group of friends, we go and watch music all the time. We dance, live music. That is a part of my life fulfillment, to enjoy music. So in my head, even when I'm doing this, there's a kind of a musical flow to it. And me, I love all types of music. So music is always playing in this room in the library, and actually in my head.
Well, it kind of goes with this question that just came in from Discovery, Connecticut. Are there plans for more Soul Sister projects in the future? And I think music should come in.
Soul Sisters band, right? Soul Sister jam. Yes, there is. Yes, what I'm doing, I went into a progression of Soul Sisters go to school, and I stepped back to the Soul Sisters wannabe. I'm going to do Soul Sisters, the final chapter, in which the theme of it is for them to go in separate worlds, go and experience their own world, and then eventually come back and also meet their birth mothers. So there's that adoption component, which I wanted to make it sensitive. So about adoption, because I'm not directly adopted. So I spoke to Adoption Ontario, and I spoke to experts who knew about adoption and the terms that they use. And so, yeah, it's a book about family, but it's a book about adopted kids and their growth. So yeah, the third book, I'm calling it the final chapter. It may not be final, but they go into their own worlds. One gains success, the other one stays home. I won't tell you which one. You'll have to wait and see. And so then I'll probably, I always want to expand and do different things. I have a book in my head of poetry called Love Stuff. And then I have a science fiction book called The End of the Internet, where the internet dies and we have to go back to being human again. and face to face and eye to eye, because I think there's gain in this, but there's also loss in social media. So there's you've entered my head. There will be another Soul Sisters book, and then I'll try different things.
Oh, maybe you need to get a theme song for the Soul Sisters.
Yeah,
Do you have
Soul
a theme
Sisters.
song?
No, but there's a Soul Sisters logo, and in the book there's a Soul Sisters anthem. So they have a anthem. Yeah, I guess that's their theme song. This is the Soul Sisters anthem. Yeah.
You know, we had Caroline on this afternoon. Maybe you and Caroline need to connect, and she can do a theme song for you.
Yeah, I saw a bit of that.
She works with children and everything. She just did one for another children's book. Oh, yeah, I'm going to connect you guys. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to connect you with Caroline.
Yeah, sure. You know what I've learned? Everything in life is about connecting with people. And I've learned that I'm a good conduit. I'm a good middle person. I like bringing people together. Like, hey, this person knows people. Even in my consulting world, I'll bring a consultant together to do another project, another one to do another project. And, you know, it's building up other people's lives with no ulterior motive. I don't, you know, I think if it helps somebody, it's cool.
Yeah.
If it helps people who are trying to build their lives, that's all I want. And at this stage of my life, I'm doing, like I was going to say, I'm all right, Jack.
I'm all right, Jack.
I'm all right, Jack.
Go to eat, Jack.
I'm all right. Because I am blessed. I am blessed with good things, and I'm humbled by it. I can't act like I have the world and look at me. I did this because I did this. No way. It took a tribe to build an individual, and it'll take a tribe to continue to build the soul of the Soul Sisters as I go and I continue talking about it and continue just highlighting the power of inclusion.
Well, we got a question here from Michael. It is, has Newton always wanted to become a children's author?
No.
It just happened.
No. What did I want to be? When I was young.
You were a bug collector.
I was a bug collector. I wanted to collect bugs. Entomologist, they call it. I always enjoyed English literature, and I always excelled in school. My top marks were like in their 90s in English literature. And around that time, I read Lord of the Rings, and I read it twice, the trilogy. And what I learned is that I love the imagery of developing imagery. And then I took an urban planning course, and I got a degree in urban planning. and then I got married and had kids and lived that life and worked. And maybe that the Soul Sisters would have been forgotten if I didn't have the time where it was quiet with the pandemic. It sounds weird, but you get this. You get that. It was quiet enough for me to ask me that hard question. What do I want to do? What do I want to be in the next 20 years of my life? I answered part of it doing this and talking about this. And then I still think the sky's the limit for other things. When people talk about retirement, because, you know, they talk about ending things. I call it readjustment. You readjust to do the things that you love doing on a daily basis. I don't drive to the office. The 9 to 5 is done.
No more.
No more. I'm doing things that are right for me and the family. And then I'm also, as our daughter. You're going to
get in trouble.
She'll hear me. Oh no. As our daughter gets married in August, you know, that's a great moment for the family. We're all getting together and we're going to celebrate. And I'm proud of her. We're proud of her, and we're proud of our son who's done well. These are two adults who are not only smart, but they have advocacy in their soul. they're involved in other things beyond just a job. And I think the lesson I've learned is in life, just don't do your job.
Have some fun.
Do something that, if you love your job, that's great, but do something that makes you more diverse outside of what people know you as. Now people know me as an author. Now I'm an author. I have my standard cap, the branding, the t-shirt, and so I'm going to ride this as long as good Lord allows me to.
And Newton, what else do you bring when you go with your books?
Oh, I bring.
What else do you bring?
I bring a luggage full of Smarties. I have a tub of Smarties, and I'll say, "Hey kids, you're smart." And then I have stickers that Monique also printed out, the Soul Sisters. So what I do, I lay stickers on the table. I have coloring pages, and what I'm doing with the wannabe book, in the back of it, I'll have a few coloring pages for kids of the Soul Sisters, so they can actually color in that. So I actually have coloring pages that I printed out. I'll have it there. I'll have the bubbles, because every day I'm blowing bubbles. And then I'll also have a banner. I have a banner that I use. And yeah, so that's been standard for me. And then I have books. I have the books if they want to purchase the books, or a lot of times. The great thing about Indigo is that they have it there. At Indigo, they actually have the books there so they can get the books. And it's in libraries, and it's on Amazon. It's Friesen has done a good job in the distribution area of it, and I think what I've done is took the promotion to the next level, to promote the because I believe in it. If I didn't believe in it, I would probably go, yeah. There are how many thousands of books, children books, that come out, and sometimes people print them overseas. I have no problem with that. I don't want to do 20 books in a year. I want to do the meticulous nature of doing these 3 books in 5 years. I want to do it where you develop the momentum and you build from that, instead of doing 30 books and just for the sake of saying, wow, Newton's done 30 books. It's not the book that I'm more interested in. I'm interested in the movement.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into the rest of your tea before we run out of time.
Sure,
Time is just flying by. But the other word you gave me was educate, awareness, elevate, and evolve.
Okay, I like evolve, because we all through trying and learning, you evolve, and evolve and education. I'm putting them together, because if you educate yourself on learning about many different things, you evolve into a better individual, a more learned individual. Books, and it's not only like school, it's not only academics. I mean, the things I've learned in life, it wasn't from the course I took. It was from my experiences falling flat, my face failing, and then realizing, ow, that hurts. So maybe I shouldn't do that. so the
Try again.
Failure. Hey, I've failed enough times in my life to understand that it's not the end of the world. In the beginning, it feels like it. It's like, oh no, I failed. Oh no. And then it's like, oh yeah, I failed. Okay. And it's not even failed. It's more just adapting and adjusting and sliding down and then getting back up again. So educate and evolve is my, yeah, they're hand in hand. You have to learn to have a level of humility. Now, I'm a very confident person. And sometimes people think, oh, Newton's kind of confident. Who do you think he is? It's not the confidence that drives me. It's my ability to want to learn more that drives me. My ability to want to learn more about this world and learn more about the book industry and all that, and the Soul Sisters. And elevation, I mean, we all need to elevate other people. It's not about elevating myself. I'm like I said, I'm all right, Jack.
And he goes like, Jack.
I'm all right, Jack. I'm all right. It's about bringing other people. I'm the most proud of that for me. I've helped other people, even in my career, move forward. And that is more important, because then I've actually given people their level of confidence. You know, I go back to family members who have brought in to certain positions, and friends, and just people who I don't even know, you know, who I connect them to an opportunity, connect them to a job. These are the things, that's true legacy. And at this stage, all I'm living is legacy work. This is legacy time now. The Soul Sisters is legacy. Consulting is legacy. My relationship with my partner, where we are enjoying the days more now. We get to work out every day because she's home, I'm home. Legacy. The ability to change charities and build charities and make them better. And based on my reputation, which is actually a good reputation, that I've learned that. I've learned that through trial and tribulations, that my reputation as a fundraiser is a very respected one. And so that builds opportunities. And I'm not done yet. So it's only, like the song says in Chicago, only the beginning.
You know why I like having you on, eh, Newton? You start singing away and you start jamming away.
It's in my head.
Where's the bubbles? You promised me bubbles tonight.
Hold on. Every day I'm blowing bubbles. I'm not well.
You know what? We need a little bit of bubbles in our life from time to time. Even us adults need to play.
We all need to. I am holding onto dear life for that, with that young person that's still in me, that desire. And it's not young irresponsible. It's young with a sense of purpose. I get up every morning. Even my wife says that. She says, you're doing all these things. And, you know, I get up with a sense of purpose every morning. And that's what keeps me going. You know, and my faith and purpose. These are things that keep me going, because it's less about me, and it becomes more about others as time moves on.
So Newton, what would your final message be? Since you've been on Tea Time 3 times, do you remember what your final messages were for Tea Time 1 and 2, or you don't?
Are you joking? Really? Look, I'm 61 years old. You expect me to remember? Okay, but I have a final message. So. I have a final message. Do you remember, I think it was a Super Bowl, and Bad Bunny looked at the camera and he said, look, this is who I am, but believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. My final message is to, you know, believe in yourself and try and believe in what you can do, because you never know where you can be. You can be writing children's books, and you can be winning awards, and still talking about it 5 years later, and being here. And me, I'm just your average Joe, man. But I believe in myself, so I say believe in yourself.
Well, thank you so much, Newton. It was a pleasure having you back on Tea Time. I always have fun with you. We always go down some rabbit holes and have some fun. We blow some bubbles and we party. I think the second time you were here, you brought candy. Did you not bring candy or something? You brought a toy the second time.
Hold on a sec. I have candy.
He has candy. He has the Smarties.
I got Smarties. Also, I also have my T-shirt. Let me stand here. This is
look at that beautiful T-shirt.
And this is look. This one's empty. What happened?
Oh no! Somebody ate those Smarties.
Here you go, Smarties. You know, I should contact Nestle's and see if I can get sponsorship for Smarties, because I've been doing Smarties for the last 5 years at every session I've done.
Well, thank you so much, Newton, for joining me on Tea Time. Thank you to all the audience, all the people that brought in their questions tonight. I could not do this without all of you guys. This is what we do. We serve fun at the table. We bring different adventures to the table. We're going to just do a quick wrap up of what tonight's tea time is, and we'll be back next week with 4 new tea times, and then the week later we'll be back with 6 new tea times. There are some surprises that are coming
Look at Miss
that
Liz.
Miss Liz popped in, so be sure to check them out, and some will be adult and trigger warnings, so we'll check that out. But tonight, what a meaningful conversation tonight. Newton, thank you for once again bringing your heart, your honesty, and your commitment to inclusion and acceptance to the tea time table. Every time you return, the conversation grows deeper, stronger, and even more impactful. Your work through the Soul Sisters movement reminds us that representation, I said it, matters.
You did it.
Kindness matters. Belonging matters. Tonight we spoke about the importance of creating spaces where children and families can feel safe, being themselves without fear of judgment or exclusion. We talked about how stories can open doors to healing, confidence, empathy, and understanding in ways statistics and headlines often cannot. One of the strongest reminders from today's conversation is this: people do not need perfection to feel valued. They need to feel seen. Here's some food for thought to carry with you tonight. What would happen if more people choose understanding before judgment? What if we taught children that differences are not something to hide, but something to honor? Sometimes real change does not begin with giant stages or loud voices. Sometimes it begins with one conversation, one story, one child finally believing they belong. Thank you, Newton, for continuing to use your voice to create those moments. Until next time, keep pouring kindness into the world, keep building bridges through stories, and keep serving real life teas, one conversation at a time. And I'll be back next week, and we'll do this all over again.
Every day I'm blowing bubbles. Have a good day. Thank you, Ms. Liz.